the Author to Author podcast series with award-winning author Pamela R Haynes.
Welcome to the podcast.
Dalgety Herbal Teas produce 100% natural high-quality organic teas using only the best ingredients. Available now from all major supermarkets, or please visit our website at dalgety.co. Dalgety Herbal Teas.
Hello, lovely listeners. A warm welcome to the last episode of the Author to Author podcast. I am your host, Pamela Haynes, author of Love the Brothers and Loving the Sisters. I cannot quite believe we are at the last episode of the podcast, but I am looking forward to having it from the past. I will be promoting my books on Sunday the 4th of September, and you're all invited. For more information on my book launch, please follow me on my Instagram page at Loving the Author. For this last episode, episode 10, I interview Nofisa Caseman, mother, life coach, and author of her book, Chapter 30, Life Lessons from a Perfectly Imperfect Woman. See you on the other side. Hello there, Nofisa. Thank you so much for joining me on the Author to Author podcast.
Thank you. I'm super excited to be here.
Great stuff. So let's start then. Where in the world are you from and where are you based now?
So I was born and raised in London, still here in London, but I have had an opportunity to live in a few other places. So I did do 6 years in Birmingham, UK. That was one for uni, and then another time I just wanted to see what it would be like to live in a different city. I've also lived in the USA for a year as well. So that was an amazing experience. But I'm back here in London.
And when you were in the States, whereabouts did you live?
So for the year, I lived in New Jersey. That was an amazing time in New Jersey.
So describe for us what a perfect day in New Jersey would be like.
So I was actually there for work. So straight after university, I did a 1-year internship with Virgin Atlantic, but perfect day would have been not going to work with our 4:30 a.m. start. And I started pole dancing out there. So I learned how to pole dance being out there. So perfect day included just being at the studio, dancing with my pole sisters, and just really experiencing the best of that environment. And I really enjoyed that time.
We're going to come back to the pole dancing in a minute. So hold there. But in terms of where you live in London, north, south?
Born and raised in South London. And eventually I'm looking to move location. So I'm excited about what's to come.
And what's your ideal location like? Out of London?
Out of the UK, my ideal location is Atlanta, Georgia. I really do want to take some time to live out there. But next year we're going to give it a stint. And me and my son are going to head over there for a couple of months and see how we find it.
Oh, wow. I mean, Atlanta is certainly the place to be. I hear about over and over again. Ghana is one of them, and Atlanta appears to be the other. But what attracts you to Atlanta?
You know, I just feel like doing it out there. They're really just living their lives unapologetically. And also in the Black community, they see a lot of men and women thriving out there. And I'm just really drawn to that energy. And, you know, I have quite a few friends. So when I first published my first book in 2019, I headed straight over there. So within a couple of weeks, I was over there. And, you know, just selling my book in that environment, it was fun. People were taken to it. And I was just like, I need to be back. I need to come back.
It seems to be the home of a lot of millionaires. A lot of business people, and obviously the home of Tyler Perry Studios as well.
Also somewhere I want to be and see what's possible, you know? I just feel like in that energy, everyone who's just doing it. I just love it. I love it when I'm out there. So definitely going to head back out there.
Well, it sounds like that's going to be a fantastic experience for you and your son.
Right.
How old is he?
So I have a 9-year-old, Javon. He's 9. And I love his energy, you know, it's because whatever I'm up for, he's like, yeah, let's try that. Let's do this as well. So yeah, he's quite adaptable and flexible.
It's a very nice age group as well, isn't it, for starting over? So, you know, as he's not at secondary school yet, it's an ideal age.
Right. Yeah. So I'm definitely like intentionally taking the time to take him out of school before we hit the secondary, we have to settle down or we have to make more decisions. So I'm just like, let's do it now.
Oh, fantastic. I'm excited for you. Thank you so
Yay.
much for gifting us a copy of your book, Chapter 30, Life Lessons from a Perfectly Imperfect Woman. Is this your first book?
So that's my first book, yes, Chapter 30. And that was written, that was published in 2019, May 2019.
Obviously, I've dipped into the book for purposes of this interview, but I've noticed that you're also published by Conscious Dreams Publishing.
Yes.
Is that right?
So I found Danny when, for me, I was like, I'm doing it, I'm writing this book, but I didn't have all the pieces before I started. And literally when it got to, okay, I finished the manuscript, soon I'm finishing it, soon I'm gonna need a publisher. And it was just like, she just came, it was just like, and it was great. It was great to have Danny on my team for publishing that first book. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yes, we interviewed Danny the last episode of season 2, and also Francesca Bleckner, her sister.
Yeah, and we met just as her book was about to be launched. So I'm super excited for all that they're doing. It's really good to see them thriving.
So what inspired you to write Life Lessons?
That book, so it's Chapter 30. A lot of people think, oh, I'm not 30, it's not for me. But the title came for me because I was turning 30. And I don't know if you remember when you was turning 30, I don't know what energy you was in, but I was in this energy of, everybody says by the time you get to 30, certain things should have been done. And I was in that energy. And then I was like, but instead of looking at what I haven't done, let me see what I have done. And I started to think about all the lessons I had learned in my 20s. And I was like, it's time to put this in a book. Instead of becoming stressed about hitting 30 and not where I want to be, actually, let's look how far I've come and what I've learned and how this can help so many other people. But let me also show them that it's a perfectly imperfect journey. And then it came together. It really did come together pretty easily. But I was just like, I'm turning 30. Let me do something that I've always wanted to do to mark this new chapter.
Oh, yeah. So the book is split into life lessons, 30 life lessons. And also, I'm just looking to remind myself, 5 split into 5 parts as well. So tell us what the book is about without giving away too much, because we want people to go out and buy the book.
Definitely. So for me, again, it was sharing my most powerful lessons the first, like, how do we say it? It's split into 5 parts. And those parts are starting a business, womanhood, motherhood, because these are some of the most powerful lessons I've learned in my life. But what the book really takes you through is how I kind of lost who I was and the lessons that I learned and the steps that I took to regain my confidence, to really find myself and become this woman who I am, and then even more. So that is the essence of the book. But for me, sharing the building blocks as well, learning to speak your truth, really trusting your intuition. These are some of the lessons that whether you're 25, 45, they really help you to move forward in your life in a powerful way. And that's what I wanted to share. I really wanted other people to really hear what I've learned and apply it to their own life. And that's why I have journal exercises after every chapter, because I don't just want people to read it. I want them to actually start doing their work, because it's life-changing.
Well, that's what I was going to mention next, because it wasn't just a collection of stories, over 30 chapters, which is very similar to Kevin Hart's book. I see that you mentioned that as well. He was one of your inspirations.
Yeah.
But you also do have the journaling bit at the back where the reader can then also write down what their own thoughts are with prompted questions. And that sets it apart from it just being a memoir, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's really important. And I feel like, so my second book also has that as well. And I feel like probably all the books I write will have that, because I feel like what I do is I teach what I learn. But I also want you to learn and then apply it to your life straight away. So I think that's definitely going to be something I apply to all of my books.
You mentioned a second book. What's that called and what is that about?
So I have a second book, which I'm super excited about. So this one's just launched. So March 31st, one came out in 22. And it's basically called The Gift and Goodbye, 7 Powerful Steps to Letting Go of Your Ex. So this was a very personal book because I had a breakup last year and I wanted to help others as I helped myself. And going through that breakup and learning how to actually heal and let go in a healthy way. And instead of becoming bitter after that breakup, becoming better. That's the essence of that book. So I share 7 powerful steps that I took to heal, let go, forgive my ex, and how other women can do that too and really start to enjoy their life again, you know? So I love it.
Sorry about that. Someone has just come in, but they know I'm recording now. So is that book here? Has it been published? Can people get hold of it now?
So that is published. So they're both now available on my website as well. So yeah.
Okay, we'll cover all your contact details in a minute. But do you have one of the books nearby, and would you like to read a bit of your book?
I would indeed. I always keep them nearby when I'm doing interviews. So The Gift and Goodbye, 7 Powerful Steps to Letting Go of Your Ex. And I'm just going to share the 7 steps. So the first one is grieve. And, you know, for sometimes we go through breakups and we just, it's like, we can't shed tears, you know, just get on with it, move on, forget about it. And that's what I've actually been told in the past. So I'm like, I can't do this. Like, I need to learn how to process my emotions. So that is helping other women actually recognize that it's okay to feel. And then the second step is reflect. The third is disengage. The fourth is what did you learn? You know, I feel like when we learn the lessons, we can actually move forward in such a healthy way. And then the last step to do with the other person and yourself is forgive. And once it comes to step 6 and 7, it's no longer about your ex, it's about you and it's about evolving. And then the last step is about your upgrade. You know, after you've had a relationship, it's about what are you going to do for yourself to level up, to upgrade your life, to let go of the old and bring in the new. So I absolutely love it. So I'm going to just share something from the last chapter about upgrading. So what I will share with you is treat yourself how you desire to be treated. You know, so many times we're waiting, like we say things like, I can't wait to get a partner so he can take me here and there. It's like, treat yourself how you desire to be treated first and foremost. Buy yourself flowers, run yourself a candlelit bath, cook a gourmet meal for one, or take yourself to the movies. How do you desire to be treated? Will you treat yourself in this way first? And that's just really a call for women everywhere. Like, will you do that for yourself first? And watch what happens when you start to actually say, I love me first and foremost. I'm going to do what I want others to do for me. And it changes the game.
Wow, that's quite powerful stuff. And I'm a bit of a reflector, so I need to think on some of those points that you raised as well. But outside of the books or alongside the books, what do you do as a day job or a business to promote your books?
Right. So I always say I'm an author, I'm a self-confidence coach, I'm an energy healer. And when I say energy healing, that's a certified theta healing practitioner. And so what we do there is we help individuals change their limiting beliefs into empowering beliefs through the energy of the creator, God, or depending on what the person will call that higher energy. And so that's what I do in my business. Right now, I also do work full time. So we're doing it all. We are doing it all right now. So I also do work full time for the Harris Federation.
So first of all, tell us what your business is called and tell us who is your business aimed at.
Yeah, so I honestly, at this present moment, I am a coach and I just literally, my business is me. I'm my brand and I'm a soul trader, Caseman. And what I do is I help women to break free from low self-esteem and really reinvent themselves as confident, powerful women by helping them to change their beliefs, let go of the self-image that no longer serves them and help them create one that does.
So is that on a one-to-one, in a group?
Yeah, so I do quite a few things. So we work one-to-one. One-to-one is my main concept of how I work with women at this present moment. And on top of that, I am invited to speak at events. I do workshops. I host my own workshops. And we've got some exciting new projects coming up, which includes a healing show.
Oh, wow. Oh, tell
Yeah,
us
so
more. Can you tell us more?
I'm so excited about this. So the first 3 episodes are going to be dedicated to helping single mothers to heal and let go of the pain that's passed between themselves and their children's father. And this is called Help Me Heal, the show. So it's all about me working one-on-one with 3 to 5 women, and I'll be helping them to actually do the work, live. So it's quite nerve-wracking for some of the participants that we already have. I've heard I'm nervous, I'm scared, but I'm really ready for a change. So I'm really looking forward to working with these women and just also showing other people what's possible when you take the action steps to actually heal, because nobody really teaches us this stuff, do they? So my son's almost 9 now, but at 1, I separated from his father, and, loads of people just said, just get over it, just move on. It's like, how? I need to know how, because I'm hurting so much. And I had to go figure it out. And now I don't want other people to be 10 years deep and they have so much resentment and pain. That's why I write the book. That's why I'm doing the healing show. I want other people to see that when you manage your mind and you learn how to heal, you can have such a different experience and really, really, really have that inner peace. And it's beautiful.
Yes, because some people become stuck, don't they? So they're like in the same groove on a record and they can't seem to move on. I met a woman who said to me that her ex-husband stopped her from becoming a nurse. And I said, well, in what way? What kind of period are you talking about? And she said, 25 years ago. And I'm thinking, 25 years ago? But he cannot be responsible for keeping you in the same state for 25 years. That's not, you haven't done the work. And as you said, people don't know what to do in terms of how to move on.
Exactly. That's why we need to be out there sharing our stories, letting people know what's possible, because that's scary, because 25 years and it's just so it's simple when you get into it and you're like, oh my gosh, I wish I had known this earlier, because I really would have been set free so much earlier. 25 years blaming somebody else. No, that's tough.
Congratulations to you for helping us to do the work and for getting yourself out there and making yourself vulnerable as well by sharing your story, because it's not always easy to tell. People are quite private, but you are quite open about your experiences, and in your openness, you were able to help other women as well and free them also.
Yeah, I think, I've once heard what's personal is universal. So I just know that what I'm going through, there are so many other women going through it or something similar. So a lot of the times we have this story running that, my situation's different. No one understands. I'm like, I've been there, or somebody I know and coach has been there. So trust me, we can help you.
Excellent. So tell us, you've got your own business, you're doing a 9 to 5, you're writing books, you're raising your son. What do you do outside of that that's just for you?
Oh, I dance. I dance in heels and I love it so much. So I know when you're on my page, you're like, wow, she's doing so much. But for me personally, I love to dance, and I'm going to take you to a class one day.
You're on. If I can get up on the pole, I will try.
Not even a pole dance class, just dancing in heels. And we do choreography, and for that 90 minutes to 2 hours, you let go of everything and you just have fun. And that's what I truly love to do.
So who introduced a nice girl like you to pole dancing?
What does that mean? I'll be honest with you, from the age of 16, I wanted to pole dance. It was just, I knew that there was this inner diva that wanted to be set free. And I was just like, I need to learn how to pole dance. It just, to me, I saw sexy, I saw fitness, I just saw empowerment. And so, but I'll be honest with you, and I know so many other women have been in this place where they've wanted to do something, but fear of what other people think of them has stopped them. And that did for 6 years. I didn't actually take my first class until the age of 22 when I moved to the USA. And my mom was actually like, are you going to go for this desire or not? And so I graduated. And then as soon as I went back, I was like, I need to find a class. And I found one up the top of my road. I think once you make a decision, everything's just so easy. I found one at the top of my block, and it was the best experience ever. but it was just a desire that I had. And once I got on the pole, my confidence quickly grew. I was just loving my body. I was just so much more just powerful. It was a crazy experience.
Yes, and there was no, I hope no offense was taken. It's just that there are connotations attached to being
I've
on the
seen
pole,
it.
as they say. But I do know that it requires, it builds up your muscles. It tones your arms, the upper body strength that you need to be able to pull
Yeah.
yourself up. I know that it takes
Core strength.
discipline
Yeah.
and get your core strength and so on. And a lot of people are now using that as a way to keep fit as well.
Yeah. And so I then, once I really started to get the confidence, I was like, I need to go and show other people what's possible. So I got my qualification to teach it. And I started running classes when I was living in Birmingham, then brought it to London. And just so many women have messaged me, since your pole class, I've just been more confident. I wear heels and just so many changes. And just by coming to a class, it's opened the women up to be like, I don't need to hide as much as I was. So I love that. I actually no longer teach it. That chapter of my life has now come to an end, but it was so good. It was a good 10-year stint and I really, really enjoyed it.
Well, thanks for sharing that with us, and especially for your love of heels as well. I had pandemic feet, that because I was wearing flip-flops most of the time, but you encouraged me to get back
I
into
love
my
it.
heels. So thank you for that as well. You truly are inspirational. So is there anything inspirational quotes or affirmation? I know you've got quite a few in your book, but one that you can share with us off the top of your head.
Affirmation. Well, I'm starting to use this affirmation where I look in the mirror and I say, this is what a insert quote. So this is what a wealthy woman looks like. This is what a confident woman looks like. Instead of looking at other women and saying, oh, she's confident, look in the mirror and start to say, this is whatever it is you want to be. So I'm going with, this is what a successful business owner looks like. This is what a 6-figure business owner looks like, because that's my next goal, is 6 figures. So I'm now starting to look in the mirror and say, she's not out there, she's me. Definitely encourage other women to do that as well. If you want to be confident, start looking in the mirror and saying, this is what a confident woman looks like. She looks like me. It's me.
Fantastic. Do you have any other books in the pipeline, do you think?
So I have number one, I'm writing a book right now, which since I've written 2 books, there's so many other women and men coming to me saying, I want to write a book, how to write a book. So I actually have started to write a book called Start Your Book Today. You have a story the world is ready to hear. So it's helping other people with my 5 steps to start their own book right now. And then I have another one, which will be sharing the 7 habits of self-confident women.
So are these books coming online shortly? What stage of writing are these books at?
Both of them are due for 2022.
For this year?
Yeah, I'm on a roll.
Oh, wow. Congratulations with those. When are we likely to see them?
So the Start Your Book Today, which will just be an ebook and a workbook, that will be out in August. And then the other one will be out December the 31st or January the 1st. I haven't created a deadline, but it's either the last day of the month, first day of the new year.
Well, if it's the first day of the new year, it will go down as a 2023 book. Well, 2023 is good too. It means that you have the whole year to promote it as well. Put the book down for awards, or forward for awards and accolades, because that's what we need now in terms of moving forward. Our books are worthy of awards.
Yes, I love that. Have you had any awards for your book?
Yeah, I've got 2. The first one was a Powerhouse Global Award, Author of the Year, and the second one was a Black Excellence Award for Author of Colour. And the podcast has been nominated for 4 awards, and I was a Black Award Best Writer nominated and shortlisted, but I didn't win. But it's okay. I'm okay with that. How has your book been received by your friends and family?
Really good. Both of them, definitely the first one. And with anybody, your first book, you're always a bit nervous to share it. And especially when you're sharing like personal information. There were times when I was writing on the journey, I was like, I'm being so honest and real and raw. What are people going to think? And it held me back. I have a message to share. So I'm super happy. My mum read the whole book. which was a bit awkward for me in the beginning, but she was like, loved it. It was funny. And, even though I'm sharing things about my life and my home life, and lots of women have messaged me, and that is definitely a way that women come to me to coach, because they're like, I've read your book. I want you to help me. Like, I feel like you understand me and what I'm going through. Can you help me? And of course.
Yeah, I mean, you have some beautiful reviews at the front of the book as well from people who have taken up your services, and they sell the book, don't they? In terms of the experience that they had with you, it's been absolutely fantastic.
It's super powerful. And so I'm glad for everybody who shares reviews, everybody who reaches out and shares, how I've supported them, because it shows them other people can start to see themselves and like, okay, if they help that person, she can help me as well.
Is that you on the cover of the book?
It is.
Oh, wow. I'm just seeing that for the first time. Okay, with the long hair, the high heels are in there as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's funny,
a stunning cover.
Oh, thank you so much. And we literally took that photo on a lunch break, and we just went in and was like, we've got to get this, we've got to get a new photo. Because if I'm honest with you, that was the third cover. That was the third attempt. I used 3 different designers. So guys, just to let you know, the first time doesn't always work out. You've got to try again. 3 different designers. And the first 2 just didn't work. I just knew I needed something different. So that was the $1 million shot.
Yes. And that's another thing we have in common, because I had 3 designers design my cover as well.
Yeah.
The first 2, it didn't feel right.
And when you know what you want, you feel it, you know what your people want as well.
Yeah, oh, that's fantastic. Can't believe we've touched the surface, really, of our discussion today. Promise me you'll come back when the other 2 books are released, and perhaps we can dive a bit deeper into the books. But for now, Thank you very much for coming on the Author to Author podcast.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. And please keep showing up, because I'm loving everything you're doing.
Many thanks.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you for listening to this episode. I thoroughly enjoyed chatting to Nofisa, but it's competition time now. During the interview, Nofisa mentioned wanting to move away to the United States, but whereabouts did she want to emigrate to? Taking part in the competitions couldn't be easier. Simply contact me on Instagram at Loving the Author and leave the correct answer there. The competition closes on Friday, but you have to be in it to win it. So good luck. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the team at Dalgety Herbal Teas, Mark, Keith, Claire and Otto. Special thanks to my producer, Nigel. It has been a pleasure working with you, and I wish you all the best with your future endeavours. Special thanks to my podcast guests, my sons, Fabian, Montel and Patrice, my guest authors, Angie Lamar, Marcia Morgan, Naz Mimek, Shelley Twin, Barty Dar, Leah Bailey, Claudia Crawley, Charlene Brown, Winsome Duncan and Nofisa Caseman. Thank you to the station managers, Lady Munya at Pam Tango Radio, Marky Mark at UK246.com and Ian at East London Radio. And to you, my lovely listeners, you could have been doing many things with your time, but you chose to spend time listening to me, and I'm very grateful. We'll be back in October, so until then, be safe and bye for now.
Please join Pamela R Haynes for another Author to Author podcast coming soon.